Welcome to the Summercast, a podcast aimed at making fundamentalism great again by applying confessional Baptist doctrine to all of life.
Well. Hope everyone is doing a-okay. It is another snowy day here in Kansas City. I wanted to come on here and talk about some ridiculousness going on at SBTS. I can't wait until this is over with so that we can get on talking about actual doctrinal issues and dig into maybe another theological study like we did at least partway through the 1689. But hey, you know, if I'm gonna have a YouTube channel, if I'm going to do anything on the internet, it's going to be productive. I'm not just gonna post memes all day long. And you know, if I'm gonna be online, if I'm gonna be out in the open, I want to do something productive. I want to do something that's edifying, and I think this is going to be edifying. So that's my purpose here. I'm not doing it just to stir up strife or anything like that, but it's to point out a few things that I think is interesting. We need to keep in mind that Dr. Albert Mohler, who is the president of Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, has disavowed and critiqued critical race theory, CRT, as well as intersectionality. And he's done that through various means. He's spoken to it audibly. He has written about it on his blog. I believe he's talked about it on the briefing. And so there's been various ways that I know for a fact Dr. Albert Mohler has spoken out against critical race theory. And he's always been very express about it, very explicit about the fact that critical race theory is wrong. And one example would be the recent article series that Dr. Owen Strachan, a professor at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, has written. And he actually posted that, and then Dr. Mohler shared that article series as well. In fact, I'm trying to pull it up here, so please excuse my ineptness at multitasking. But if you look at Dr. Albert Mohler's Facebook page, he's actually posted. He has shared this, and I don't know. It's been a little while, maybe a week or two since this was really going around. So I'm not sure if I'm going to find it. Should be real close. Hold on. And it's basically a 4-part blog series, and it's really good as far as laying out the basics. It doesn't name any names. It doesn't provide any specific examples, which is a shortfalling of the series itself, because people need to see examples of this stuff so that they can know what to look for when it actually presents itself in their own seminaries. Unfortunately, that's not happening with Mohler or Strachan or anyone else. There's not specific examples are not being brought up, and I'm still not able to see. Maybe it's something he shared on his Twitter. Anyway, if you go to Dr. Owen Strachan's blog on Patreon, you can find that blog series there. It's on critical race theory. It's good. It's articulate, as is most things that Strachan does. He's a good teacher. He's a good professor. I have a lot of respect for him. He's one of my professors. But it just doesn't go far enough, because it doesn't provide the actual real life examples of what's going on here. And Albert Mohler takes kind of the same track. He'll say critical race theory and intersectionality are godless. We shouldn't, they shouldn't be incorporated as worldviews. But he'll stop short of calling out any faculty or pastors or teachers within the Southern Baptist Convention. He won't call anybody out for mixing Christian doctrine with this stuff, which is going on, as is demonstrated in Resolution 9 at the last convention in 2019. And so you see Resolution 9 actually endorsing critical race theory and intersectionality as helpful analytical tools, not as worldviews, but as helpful analytical tools. And you don't see Albert Mohler calling out Curtis Woods as someone who is trying to synth Christianity together with critical race theory and intersectionality. That's exactly what this is. This is a synthesis. They're trying to bring together two mutually exclusive concepts. That's the Christian religion and the worldviews, the ideologies that are critical race theory and intersectionality. Critical theory, you can go and look this up on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, on the SEP. Critical theory itself as a baseline theory, is kind of a fundamental theory, is designed such that those who would adhere to it see the world through the lens of oppressor and oppression. And the goal becomes liberate humanity from slavery. And by slavery, that is a very fluid term, a very subjectively defined term. So anything can actually be slavery. So economic disparity can be slavery. And critical theory is designed to liberate humanity from all a crazy house full of different kinds of slavery, willy-nilly defined by anyone and everyone with a platform. So the idea, though, is that when you take critical theory and apply it to race, you have to see race or the human population or anthropology through the lens of oppressor-oppressed relationships. When you apply it to the Bible, you have to eliminate anything in the Bible that would bind humanity, right? That would bind humanity to a moral imperative, that would bind humanity to any sort of system of justice that anybody like maybe someone like James Cone sees as oppressive. Critical theory tears down everything and makes it all a matter of oppressor-oppressed relationships. Okay, that's what critical theory does at the baseline. Critical race theory just is a particular application of that to ethnicity, to race, etc., etc. Well, it is no complex discovery. It's nothing. It's not hard to see that critical race theory is being applied within Christian institutions. When you look at someone like Walter Williams and Herschel York, who interviewed Miss Newbell about the majority Anglo churches. This happened on a podcast. It was a subset website of Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, and they talk about this idea that if you're a majority Anglo church, what do you need to do to change? Newbell responds, repent. You need to repent for being a majority Anglo church. Now, I actually interacted with Herschel York on this point on social media, and he would obviously he says, nope, I do no such thing. I don't teach critical race theory. I don't endorse critical race theory. Yet in the podcast, it is so easy to see that there is a synthesis, at least a synthesis, if not an overriding principle of critical race in that podcast. When you say or imply that it's a sin for a congregation to be majority Anglo, that they need to repent of that and then go out and hunt for people of different skin color, which is racist as all get out, that is critical theory, right? That the majority population needs to repent, that they need to give up their majority status and bring in minorities, right? And bring everything to an equilibrium. That's critical theory. There's no getting away from that. Herschel York, by the way, is a professor at SBTS, where Albert Mohler is president. Okay, Curtis Woods, who is on the resolution committee, is a faculty member of SBTS, and he's the one who argued for critical race theory and intersectionality as analytical tools at the convention last year when they presented Resolution 9. And then just a couple days ago, ladies and gentlemen, 2 days ago, I believe it was on the 10th, Southern Baptist Theological Seminary posts this. They post that. The church deserves the very best leaders. Southern Seminary's Doctor of Ministry program offers academic rigor in a, tuned environment? I can't see. In a trusted environment with faculty support to ensure success. Okay, so notice that. They're trying to save face here. The church deserves the very best leaders. Southern Seminary's Doctor of Ministry program offers academic rigor in a trusted environment. So we know that the reputation with Mr. Curtis Woods, who is top right, and Herschel York, who is bottom right, we know that their reputations have been tarnished among the conservative evangelical circles. I know this for fact. I've talked to people who are seriously questioning what these two gentlemen are doing. I can give you examples in the show notes. There are examples where Herschel York and Curtis Woods, being on the resolution committee, defending obviously critical race theory. I don't care if they call it an analytical tool, right? This is good coffee, by the way. We have this breakfast place down the road called The Depot in Leavenworth, Kansas. And, man, they have delicious coffee. Went there this morning for breakfast. Anyways, they're trying to save face here. We know that the reputations of Curtis Woods and Herschel York, they've been tarnished. So what's Southern Baptist Theological Seminary going to do? They're going to boost their reputations. They're going to try to save face. Curtis Woods is a man you can trust. Herschel York, a man you can trust. Albert Mohler, a man you can trust. Everybody likes Albert Mohler. He was the leader of the conservative resurgence. And if you have Curtis Woods and Herschel York in a picture with Albert Mohler being obviously posted by Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, hey, well, they're pictured alongside Albert Mohler. Obviously, we can trust them. Here's what's going on. And it's genius. It's a genius strategy. But here's a strategy, and this has been the strategy for a very long time. Albert Mohler has a reputation. Albert Mohler has a conservative reputation. He was one of the persons on the front lines during the conservative resurgence. He has carried that mantle ever since. Yet, he refuses to call out any names of individuals who may be teaching critical race theory and intersectionality within his institution or within any other institution within the SBC. Okay, just because that's just not happening. We deny it, right? Plausible deniability. People know because they have the documented evidence that Woods and York are talking about and teaching, promoting critical race theory. But if they can be in a picture with Albert Mohler, who is the face of conservatism within the SBC, then Woods and York and whoever that other guy is, I don't know who that is, have credit, right? They have credit. They are credible because they're represented along with Albert Mohler. What's going on here is very political. It's very political. It's the politics of associationism. It's the politics of association, or just the politics of association. If you can be associated with the right individuals, then you can have a boost in credit, right? You have more credit among the people who are among your voting bloc, basically, right? And so, like, you see it in American politics all the time with endorsements, for example, of presidential candidates. Obama. Obama recently, he didn't endorse Joe Biden for his presidential candidacy, right? So he didn't endorse Joe Biden, which was odd because Biden was his vice president. You'd think he would have endorsed his buddy, but he didn't endorse him. Instead, he endorsed Michael Bloomberg. Well, Obama's endorsement associates Bloomberg with Obama. So people who voted for Obama and people who would still vote for Obama if they were given the chance are going to vote for Bloomberg because Bloomberg is positively associated with Obama. And Obama is basically saying, by representing or by endorsing Bloomberg, he's basically saying Bloomberg represents what I would want in a presidential candidate. And so people will vote, who would vote for Obama will vote for Bloomberg. Well, the same thing is happening right here in this picture. The same exact thing is happening right here in this picture. If Albert Mohler, who is the face of conservatism, who is on the good side of a lot of conservative evangelicals within the SBC, if he endorses Curtis Woods and Herschel York, then Curtis Woods and Herschel York have a boost in credit, right? And more people, people who favor Albert Mohler, people who look up to Albert Mohler, are now more prone, and they'll be more prone to listen to the words that come out of the mouths of Woods and York and whoever that other guy is, right? So it's just politics. It's association. It's association. It's we have this term guilt by association. Well, this is you could call it credit by association, reputation by association, whatever, pride by association. And that's what's going on here in this picture. It's strategy. This is strategy. The reason they put those three men in the same picture with Albert Mohler is because they want them to be associated with Albert Mohler positively, so that whoever listens to Mohler will also listen to Woods and York. Okay. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. I've already gone a little too long. I wanted this to be more brief. But guys, don't fall for the politics. Don't fall for the politics. There's so much riding on these guys' shoulders in a worldly sense. I mean, like you have a financial aspect to this. You have obviously a reputation aspect to this. You have an institutional aspect to this. These guys have a lot to lose. They have a lot to lose. And so, yes, they're going to do whatever it takes to save face. They're going to do whatever it takes to save face. And if posting a dirty picture like that associates York and Woods, who both promote critical race theory, it's no mystery anymore at this point, who both promote critical race theory, if that means associating them with Mohler in order to save their reputations and to promote the longevity and health of Southern Seminary, then they're going to do it. It's hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. He's got too much to lose, right? So anyways, guys, look out for these kinds of things. It's snaky. I know it's hard to believe that some of these men would do this. We've looked up to a lot of them, or a lot of you have looked up to a lot of them for many, many years. I've never really looked up to Mohler. I ever since I started attending a Southern Baptist seminary, I've seen the politics and the kind of there's kind of a facade there, and it just comes off as not genuine, I guess you could say, and so I've just never really looked up to. I've had individual professors that I had more personal relationships with that I did certainly look up to, and that I'm still grateful for to this day. But I know it's hard, but these men are men. They're men, right? And so we can't act like they're invincible. And I think that happens a lot. You see critiques come out against these guys, and you see their personal apologists come out to defend their reputations and things like that. And they don't even know who they are. They just know that they've taught them something throughout the years, and so they're going to defend them tooth and nail, defend their reputations. They're kind of, and that's to be expected. If you really like somebody, I really like R.C. Sproul. Like, I would defend R.C. Sproul's reputation, right? But we need to understand that R.C. Sproul, Albert Mohler, MacArthur, any of these guys, all of them are men, and they're going to make decisions like men make decisions according to a remaining sin nature. And in the case, maybe, we don't know for certain if these men are saved. We don't know for certain that they're not saved. But you got to consider the possibility that there are wolves in the midst of sheep here. I don't know about Mohler. I don't know about Woods or York. Their fruit is not looking that good though right now. I mean, just from what I've seen, I don't want to straight up say they're not saved because I don't know. I don't know they're not saved. But this is not good fruit, guys. This is not good fruit, and we need to point it out when we have the opportunity. So God bless you guys. And by the way, we need to point it out for the sake of people who watch. For the sake of people who watch, you're probably not going to change Mueller's mind, right? This video, like Mueller's probably never going to see this. I could pray he sees it. I could pray it changes his mind. I'm not counting on that though. I care about my YouTube audience. I care about my church, members of my church who will watch this. That's who I care about. And so I respond to this stuff because this stuff is what's swirling around in America right now, and it's bound to, at one point or another, darken the doors of my church and other good churches out there. And so I talk about this stuff for the sake of people listening and watching. Okay? And you should too. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.